Forgive yourself and others. Release the anger. Forgive others. Forgive yourself. Forgive your parents. Forgive your siblings. If we begin to see the situations in our life as opportunities to practice forgiveness, like the angels, we will be lighter. It's true.
I love that. Thank you. Hi, I'm Corrin. This podcast is called The Ache, an ode to the existential ache of being human, that still small voice tugging inside every single one of us, prompting us to change, move, grow, become more of our authentic selves. This is conversations with people who dance with the ache. So, do you want to tell me this plane story to begin?
I feel like, we have to jump into that because otherwise will have no idea where the fuck I'm coming from, where I'm getting all these crazy ideas. Like, I have to tell you this story. I'm on a flight from Dallas to Burbank. First, does it get more liminal than this space? Okay, Dallas, the Dallas airport, it's like nothing. It's like you've been there a million times, and it's just for a layover. It's Dallas, the Dallas airport. It's there's something spooky about it.
That is the voice of Kelsey Miralles. She is a friend of mine, recent friend of mine. We met in, I think, 2023. So, I guess it's been 2 years. Today, she comes on to tell an absolutely amazing story. On a flight from Dallas to Burbank, she had an incredible spiritual experience that sort of spurred a lot of change in her life. And so she tells us that story today. She also talks about her transition into and out of the adult entertainment industry as a star. And she talks about how that experience on the plane impacted her moving forward. Without further ado, here's Kelsey.
I'm coming home from a trip from Missouri, which is where I'm from, and the trip was hard emotionally. My mom recently diagnosed with breast cancer and kind of came out of nowhere because genetically it shouldn't be an issue on her side of things. And so she got these tests done and it confirmed nothing was genetic. So what does that tell me? It's this environment. It's the environment. It's the food that she's consuming. It's the water, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. This trip was really hard. And also a lot of things came full circle on this trip back home because it's been 10 years since I've seen some friends from high school and everything. And I reconnected with them and it blew my mind how much my life has changed since leaving Missouri versus maybe how little theirs has. Everything is the same. Like, everything is the same. So my mind was blown. The trip was hard emotionally. Didn't get any sleep. Was boozing. And I was there for only maybe 2 full days. Dallas to Burbank. My husband and I pop a 100 milligram edible. Honestly, that's pretty normal for us, traveling, and maybe at home too. We're maybe stoners, but
hell yeah,
yeah,
hell fucking yeah.
We're maybe stoners.
We've started becoming stoners recently.
I was gonna ask. I'm a bit of a stoner. Like, I can smoke weed all day long and be totally fine. It's just my little. It's great for my anxiety. It's
perfect.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, chills me out, dude. And but I took it with the intention of totally conking out on this flight back home. I was exhausted. So I was a bit altered with the edible and the lack of sleep and the emotions, the heavy emotions. So I get on the flight and I'm walking down the aisle and I'm like laughing because there are just so many away suitcases, like more than a normal amount. Like almost every suitcase in that flight that aircraft was in a waist suitcase, including mine and Anthony's. I was carrying both of ours down the aisle, and I was just giggling at how many waist suitcases there were. I miss where I'm seating, and then I look back, and I'm like ushered into my seat. But last minute, I'm like, Anthony, babe, why don't you take the window, and I'll grab the middle, because it's just this woman that's sitting next to us, and it's a woman. She's safe. Like, let's just switch. You can be in your own zone and play video games uninterrupted for like 3.5 hours. That's Dallas to Burbank, 3.5 hours. So we end up switching. Pretty unusual. I like to take the window seat and also be shielded from the world. But I was just feeling safe with this woman, this strange woman.
Yeah, like what prompted you to want to switch seats?
When I was walking back after giggling at all the away luggages, like, she like looked at me and smiled, and I thought that she was wearing this bright blue shirt, and she looked like she was like a Southwest air flight attendant. I don't know. She had an energy about her, and she was just like smiling at me, and I'm like, okay, we'll switch. She got me. And she continued to get me, because I was, even after sitting down, I was trying to brush her off a little bit and tell her I'm really tired. I plan on just falling right asleep. Like, I'm so exhausted. And I was trying to put my headphones on and really brush her off, but she got me. And I think I said something along the lines of, I'm tired because I just came back from Missouri visiting my mom. And then I think that's all she needed, because the energy between us shifted, and it felt like silent around us. And she said, your mom's gonna be okay, right? And this is without me mentioning anything of her cancer. Nothing. Didn't say shit. Didn't say anything like that. This is just her knowing that was on my mind, and she's gonna be okay. And so that was just the beginning of it. And then I'm crying, of course. I'm crying because it's unbelievable that she's saying this to me after such a heartbreaking trip. Like, this is a movie. but it really happened. And then, okay, so like we were like locked in, and for some reason I thought it was really interesting because she completely shut out my husband's vibe. Like, he didn't like her for some reason. Maybe thought she was like too kooky of a lady. Like, I totally get it. So he was so shut down and in his headphone zone, and we were just able to have this be engaged for like 3 fucking hours. And she read me like a book. I mean, I've sat in therapy and shelled out $200 a sesh just to sit there, say nothing, and cry. And I would do that like 6 times in a row. And then the things that she was pulling out of me, the truth, the honest fucking truth, was coming out so clear, and I could see it all in front of me, and it was beautiful. It was like a gift that I've been asking for so long. This clarity.
You felt like you got clarity in the conversation with her about yourself.
Massive. About my direction, about who I am. She said everything I need to hear that we all know is just the basis truth. Like, love yourself, forgive yourself. But it's all true. She was saying, okay, so of course I can't totally remember all 3.5 hours, even though I was like hanging on to her words. I remember just being so in her face, and my hand was on her knee, and like I was locked in with her, crying, bawling on her shoulder. I was being crazy lady on the plane.
I love this. I love this. This is my dream. If I saw this shit happening on the plane, I would be like, I wish I was sitting there.
I genuinely thought that like when we were done having this session, that the lights were gonna come on and people were gonna clap, because it was that beautiful. Like, that it was that honest. But it was so awkward when the lights did come on, because I don't think anyone got it. Like, I mean, I would love to be a fly on the wall of that conversation. I mean, I can see out of my peripherals the guy sitting behind me, But geez, I wonder what he was thinking, if he caught any of that.
Hey, you never know. It might have like severely changed him as much as it changed you. Mm-hmm. Was there anything that stuck with you about the conversation that you want to share? Like,
she was so shocked that I did porn, and she was like, wow, that was so unlike you. I'm like, yeah, that is exactly how I feel. Like, that came out of kind of like left field.
And did she read that on you, or did you just tell her? Or
I think I told her. Yeah, but she knew that there was something blocking me, and that I was a little bit in both worlds still.
Like career-wise, blocking.
Yeah. And so she told me, literally, there's two paths in front of me, and that experience with her, it wasn't going to change my life. It is the actions that I take afterwards. That is what changes my life. So I'm being very careful with what I say when I say call it a life-changing experience, because she told me herself, it's not just that conversation with her, it's everything that's going to happen after. Her name was Faith, and she was born on Christmas. Her name was Faith, and she was born on Christmas. And she's a second grade teacher in Ventura. And her boyfriend does special effects for movies, and she's just a normal lady.
But she has a gift.
With a gift. She was visiting her boyfriend in Dallas, who works on movies,
mm-hmm.
and just coming out here. Yeah, she was just coming back home after like 6 weeks. She said this is a gift that she has, and she wants to like play with it more, and like it's getting stronger as she's getting older, and maybe she felt something with me, and maybe she trusted me.
Clearly, because it was profound for you. So certainly she was feeling into that energy and feeding off of it, and you were open to her, and then it becomes like a back and forth and sharing and
I think
exchanging.
We did something for each other. It was quite magical.
So I have one friend that's now a full-time professional psychic. And I was her first real client. Mm-hmm. I've been actually the first real client for two of my friends who are psychics who
I imagine you're the catalyst for many, many moments in many lives, many people's lives.
You know, I'm really into human design, and I'm a projector, and our type in human design is supposedly you can like have exchanges because we can see right into people and like sort of grab at their like the center of them if they want us to, and like direct them. And so supposedly, you know, a conversation with a projector could shift things for you, right? If you mm-hmm. if you let it, or if you're interacting with each other like correctly, quote unquote. But so yeah, I was like their first real client, and both of them have said to me on separate occasions, like, oh, you gave me the confidence to like keep reading people or like charge people or whatever. So yeah, this Faith and you, like, I think it seriously was probably mutually beneficial.
Yeah. No, it felt like everything was just kind of set up perfectly for that moment. It was wild. And yeah, it's set on this like journey of the 7 days after, where also I was like, swear I was witnessing miracles left and right. Like I went into this FedEx as I was running PA shit. You know, I was doing some sort of silly errand, and this guy comes in and he puts his phone on speaker, and he's like this old head, he's trying to pay his rent, and on the phone he's like, this woman's like, yeah, your landlord, she's locked up. I don't think she's coming out for a while. I think you don't have to pay rent for a while. So it was just many incidences like that. I'm like, what is going on? Okay, so let me rewind, because Faith from the airplane told me, she gave me a specific task. Faith asked me, when's your next day off? Because you need to go down to the beach, put your feet in the sand, and grab the moon. I've been dying to do this. I've been dying to just go and just reach up and just harness the moon. I think I read it in one of my little witchy books, mm-hmm. that maybe harnesses some energy. Mm-hmm. And so I've been dying to go do that for hormonal reasons. Actually, I've been searching for ways on how to holistically heal me from the inside. And so one of the recommendations was the moon. And she tells me on my next day off. And when I got back from this work trip, it was I had this random bout of work, six days in a row where I'm on set, so I'm pretty unavailable. But on the 7th day, when I'm told to go grab the moon, I look it up. Oh, it's a full moon. Oh, of course it's a full moon.
Of course she told me.
On my next day off, it's full moon. So I did it. It was like the whole time. Well, on my way down to Torrance Beach, it was like it was watching me and pulling me in. And then as soon as I stepped foot on the beach, it was that same whoom sound again. And like I could still feel it. That those like that current, that electricity, that like I can like it's still in me. It's in you. It's in all of us. And it's just tapping into that and just reminding yourself, oh, it's all still magic. I can still feel it.
I think feeling connected to your life and feeling connected to what's going on around you is like the best feeling. You're not just like a cell totally alone. You're like part of like a whole other structure of things that are all working together.
I believe in a participatory universe. Okay, we are playing along with this game of life. Like I don't know, anything's possible. I really believe it. I really believe it.
I do too. I mean, that's one of the big reasons I started this podcast, is I was just like, mentally, physically, emotionally, we hold ourselves back. We put ourselves in boxes and we are like, oh, this is the only thing I see around me, so I must have to do that and live that way. But if you look a little bit over the edge, of the box, you like start seeing people who live completely differently than you do.
Exactly how I picture it. I picture the masses, unfortunately, in little boxes. And then all most people need to do is just get a little ladder, a little step stool, step above their box and like look around, and you'll see that there's so much life out there. There's so many different ways to live your life, and you're not limited to what you have been before, what you thought you're gonna be. Yeah. I will tell you, like, as much as I was trying to hold on to her words, and because I wanted to retell as much as possible, because I knew what the fuck is happening. No one's gonna believe me. I was hoping Anthony was listening to me, but the whole time he was truly in his own zone.
Because she just knew things about you that you were like, how do you know that? And she was able to read you and say, like, oh, this is...
Yes. And, like, I could feel our energies exchanging, and I could see what it looked like, too. Like, it was blue and green, kind of, have you ever seen that San Pedro cactus? As it grows taller, there's different colors of the blue and the green, and they're kind of, they're melting into each other, and that's what it looked like between us. And it was crazy, too, because it was the way that our exchange was also going with the airplane. So as the lights would go down, then it felt like we were in our own bubble, where it was kind of like tunnel vision between us. Couldn't hear anything. I was in a trance. She had me in a trance is what it was. Faith told me she was a quadruple dragon, so she was pulling with a little bit of Chinese zodiac. Quadruple dragon, I believe, meaning year, month, down to the hour. Year, month, day, hour dragon. Very rare. And she was also telling me, she told me, these are the details that I remembered. She said she was a high-ranking shaman priestess, high-ranking shamanic priestess. I'm gonna take her word for it, because Corrin, like, the knee that I was grabbing on her was her left knee. I famously have this insane left knee that just pops out of place all the time. When I'm dancing, when I'm on set, truly, anytime I work art department, it will just collapse and I have to pop it back in. But ever since my interaction with Faith on the plane, zero issue in my left knee. And in many situations, I went canyoneering since my experience with Faith, and no issues with the knee. And And there's been times when it has like slipped and I can feel something going on in there, but no pain, no damage, no collapsing. Like, I believe she healed my knee. She healed my pain. That's another thing she said. She said, I can't take it away, but she can numb it. Yeah, she said, I cannot take away your pain. I can only numb it. So that's what she said. I was numb. I've been numb. She numbed me. Not in a bad way, but my pain is numb.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also do believe that when you have, or at least I've experienced this in my life, when I have an emotional experience where I process something that maybe has been stuck in my body for a long time, I will experience like a physical healing of something too.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, that was like potentially my inner turmoil around that might have been like attached to that thing. And I think people that are like powerful healers and like readers can bring that out of you.
Yes, it's crazy, but that's what happened.
I believe it.
Thank you.
Absolutely, I believe it. Of course. Okay. Is there anything else, Faith, that we should, or is branching off from Faith? Like,
I think that's it with Faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the one thing that stuck out to me was like when you said she was surprised by your work, by your line of work, and you said that you felt that way too. I was like, wait, you felt like it was out of left field for you to get into adults, or
yes.
you felt like it was a surprise to yourself also?
So unlike me.
But it happened.
Yeah, and not only that, but I also did it well. Like I pretty much took it kind of as far as I could have gone, and successfully too.
Yes.
I'm proud of my accomplishment.
As you should be. As you should be. I mean, here's the thing with, I don't know, it's work. Like you're doing creative, energetic, beautiful work. Like that's what's happening when people are in adult or in any type of entertainment at all, period. Whether it's sexy, whether it's fucking, like what we do in Sweden, whether it's a movie, like there's a providing entertainment and creativity and providing your own lens into the work that you're doing. And I think with adult, like I don't know much about that world. I don't, I'm not in that world per se, but I have a huge respect for it. And I have this idea that like, I don't know how it was for you, like if you were able to like control your own content, if you were able to be creative with your own work, or...
I also have a huge respect for the industry, and I would never want to openly shit on it because it changed my life for the better once I got to a place where I felt safe and respected on set. Because when I started doing pornos in New York, and that is not necessarily a hub for adults, it is pretty low quality stuff. So I don't know if I ever felt like I ever consciously made the decision to be a porn star. It was just a series of events that snowballed. And then, oopsie, I kind of found myself in a situation where I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, then I need to take it all the way and move to LA and be a porn star. And that's what I did for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, how long was your journey from like start to end with adult? Or I guess,
like 2019, I graduated college in Missouri, and then I was webcamming for like 3 months. And then from 3 months, I made more money than I ever did in my whole life, saved like 10 grand. That was so much. That is so much money in Missouri. My rent was like $300 to $400 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous shit. Oh, God. Gone are those days. But then after I saved up that money, I moved to New York pretty quickly. And then, the sex work snowballed. It got bigger and bigger. And geez Louise, found myself in that situation, which was very unlike me. But I wanted...
And why do you feel like it was unlike you? Like,
I wasn't a like confident, sexy lady. I don't think. Like, I had a nice body, like everyone knew it, but it's not like I was really working it. I didn't have the confidence to work it. I was like a serial monogamist. I had a lot of boyfriends, and maybe I was like, I had a lot of boyfriends, and we had really good sex, so I was always kind of horny, but I was a nerd. Like, I didn't know how to act on these things. Like, I was researching consensual non-monogamy in college, you know, because I was secretly wanted to explore like women and open relationships and stuff like that. So, but I was a dork, and maybe it was that seed that was planted during my studies where I'm like, oh, maybe I have it in me, because my mind is already open to alternative lives. Maybe I can go on and throw my perfect tits online and make a career out of it. And it worked.
Yeah,
they are perfect.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna argue.
They're
not
nice.
gonna argue with you. I would never argue with you.
I know
about
you
that.
wouldn't.
You also have the most amazing ass. I will say, you and my boyfriend have the identical asses.
Oh my god, I forgot.
That's the thing.
Jacques does have a good little booty.
You guys both have gorgeous bodies,
gorgeous
beautiful
derrieres,
people, gorgeous booties.
And ultimately, I think I was raised a capitalist, so I was just trying to put anything I could to work to give me a new life. That's what I wanted.
Were your parents supportive, or did they not know? They didn't know.
Fuck no. I tried to be open and honest with my dad. My dad, I thought, was the more liberal of the two parents, but when it came down to it, it's like, dads don't want this for their daughters, and I understand. I'm not gonna ever try to change his mind on that. He is an immigrant from Slovakia. Like, that is not what he wanted for his daughter. I get it, and I'm not even mad. My mom, someone doxed me. So classic. Someone doxed me early on in my career, so not even the good porn, the horrible shit that I made in New York. Someone sent it to her, yeah. And
oh my God.
I never had the chance to, like...
You weren't able to tell her yourself?
No. So things were really bad. Things were really bad for a while. And it's okay now.
And yeah, you guys were able to come back together?
Not Dad. Dad's still...
Oh.
But, and you know, it's funny, Corrin, this is also another theme that comes up all the time in my healing journey. I think about him all the time. I miss him.
Yeah.
But every psychic energy, every psychic that I've consulted with, talked to, even Faith on the plane, I'm like, when is the right time? And everyone is saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. So I know
to reach out to him.
Yes, because I think he has some of his own healing to do. Man, it's
of course you want to feel like I don't, sorry not to cut you off, but I don't think anyone doesn't want unconditional love from their parents and to be shown unconditional love from their parents. Like, I do think that that's some sort of innate thing in all of us, whether we get it or not.
Yeah.
Like, that desire, our inner child is alive with that desire.
Yeah, it does. And that inner child is like pulling you in different directions, very real directions in your adult life. My inner child was maybe screaming for attention, look at me. And then I got it. And now I'm maybe I was a little uncomfortable with the attention. This isn't me.
But sometimes you don't know until you go there. 100%. For me, I've been that way my whole life, where if I don't absolutely take it to 11, girl, I'm not gonna know.
How am I supposed to know if I don't experience that extreme?
Yeah.
If I don't push to the max.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is another, I'm obsessed with the concept of shadow integration, shadow work. Like, are you familiar with it? Like,
give me your breakdown.
Okay, so it's like the unconscious parts of yourself that have been relegated or have been like shoved down. Yes. So like things that are said to be bad or wrong, or like aspects of yourself that you reject.
Okay.
And shadow work is bringing them up to the surface and giving them a voice and making those unconscious parts of you like conscious, because otherwise they tug you in like crazy directions. And I was gonna say, like, almost you and me being similar in that, like, we're gonna take it to 11, like you going fully into your work and being like, I'm fucking doing this. To me, it's like, sounds like it could have been a way of doing shadow integration, of like being like, I'm just gonna like put on blast, like when you were like, oh, this part of me that's maybe like, I need attention, or like I need something, it needed something. And it was like, okay, let's go to let me give you all of that. Let me like integrate you, or the part of you that needed something. For me, I see like my journey with kink as shadow integration. I went in a direction with kink when I first got into it, and like going to Threshold and going to like different parties at dungeons and different events, and like I went way too far. And I did a bunch of things that I was uncomfortable with at the time, or like whatever, but like I needed to feel those things. Like looking back, I'm like, I'm glad, because it was only in crossing the line that I even knew the line was there. I didn't even know that line was there for me until I walked across it, and then I was like, oh shit, okay.
I know.
Like recalibrate.
Absolutely. Rewind. Finding your boundaries when you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unlike me to do porno, but I made it work, and I was happy that I recognized the feelings of, I don't want this anymore. Got what I wanted. My life, it's changed. I have a nice little nest egg that's sitting away, you know, getting bigger by the day. That's lovely to see. I'm good. I can walk away and proud. And so I trusted myself, and it's paid off huge. Paid off huge.
Yeah. No, it's important. And now you're on your spiritual journey.
That came right on time. About a year after I quit porno and had to reintroduce myself. I'm Kelsey. This is like, I had to make my make a new version of myself that I never really had a chance to like hang out with. Get to be like, who do I get to be? Who am I? But I know, like, it's like I can see me, like it's the little girl that's inside me. I finally get to let her out, and she can be her. She can be here with me now.
And you felt like she couldn't before?
Not as April. Like she had to be protected a little bit more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did she come out with Faith? Like, was she like stoked to meet Faith?
Faith was like, she's like, does the color pink mean anything to you? And yeah, I'm a pink girl. Like, I was just telling my mom about all these projects I have. And they all involve pink. Whatever. Pink is the color of my inner child. And she says, you need to let her back out and harness her.
Yeah.
Bring her back to light. And I feel so light because she's back in control. Yeah, it's so fun. I'm having so much fun with my life. And with everybody I meet, I get to meet them with an open heart.
Oh, I love that. Oh.
Yeah, it's just myself, which is who I always wanted to be, just me.
And you deserve to be that.
I feel really, really grateful. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And that's you. That's you making those choices.
That's
and
right.
Making those journey. That's you, like taking her by the hand.
Yeah.
And bringing her out.
Well, I took it to 11, babe. You know, she gave me a little bit, and I said, Faith, what else can I learn from you? And so it really did spur a whole journey ahead, which led me to some really cool books. Maybe I'm ready to share my
fuck yeah, let's do it.
My passage. This is the part that made me cry. So here are the waterworks. Check. Okay. Forgive yourself and others. Release the anger. Forgive others. Forgive yourself. Forgive your parents. Forgive your siblings. If we begin to see the situations in our life as opportunities to practice forgiveness, like the angels, we will be lighter. It's true.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Do you have anything else you want to share?
That's all.
All right. That's it. Since we caught Kelsey right smack in the middle of this big moment in her life, this spiritual awakening with Faith on the plane and everything going on with her mom, I thought that it would be great to have a follow-up. So a couple months after we recorded, she was kind enough to send me a voice note following up on all of this, and here it is.
Hi, this is Kelsey. A few months later, the queen of the voice note herself, Miss Corrin, asked for a wrap-up on the past few months since I left you guys on a cliffhanger, so I'll wrap it up for you now. It's been a while since we last talked, so I don't quite remember what was said, but knowing me, I talked about faith and the flight from Dallas to Burbank. To be honest, I haven't stopped thinking about it since. It comes up every day in my mind, and I really regard that experience like a miracle. It is my proof of the other side. Either somebody above wanted me to do the right thing, or I really, really wanted me to do the right thing, but I was so stuck in my ways that nothing was going to pull my head out of my ass except for maybe divine intervention. I remember Faith being shocked of my porn star past, and when I look back, 1.5 years later, I'm a little shocked too. I'm also impressed and very jealous of her lush hair extensions and fake tan. Sometimes I miss the gratifications that come with working in adults, but never enough to forget about the miracle that was delivered to me. A message that said, get your head out of your ass and focus on what matters to you. Well, what matters to me? Health really matters to me. I found this out after learning about my mom's cancer diagnosis. It was a travesty that brought us closer. I'm hopeful that it even healed some of the damage I did from back when. A few months after we recorded, she was due to have her surgery, and I was debating on whether or not to visit her. And even though this seems like an obvious choice, like, yes, Kelsey, go visit your mom, she did say no visitors, and I wanted to respect that. But in the end, of course, I booked a flight against her wishes, and it was that night when I was in the shower, free from distractions, that I had a flashback. It was a vision of Faith, and we're back on the airplane. And she's telling me that I'm taking a trip home and I'm going to teach my mom all about nutrition and food. This vision felt like a confirmation that I was doing the right thing and another nudge from the universe in the right direction. So even though I don't remember all that Faith and I discussed over that 3.5-hour flight, I have these flashbacks. When the timing is right, I have a flashback of her, and she pushes me in the right direction. My mom has since made a complete 180, and she sends me photos of her colorful dinner plates. Greens, sweet potatoes, peppers, lentils, broccoli, all of it. We trade them back and forth, and I know she's taking care of herself. For me, I tune into my body through meditation, and I give attention to my inner voice, who tries her very best to guide me in the right direction. I occasionally have a bad day, or even a series of bad days, but I'm learning to love those too, and all the lessons that they give me. Thank you, Corrin. Thank you for giving me a space to hash out this experience and talk about it, because it really was so magical, so otherworldly. Like, I can't believe I was the recipient of such fucking power. I don't know what the fuck that was on the flight, but it was really, really something. So thank you, Corrin, and I love you dearly. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to The Ache. This podcast is produced by myself, Corrin Evans, and Alexis Murphy. All the music you hear is original compositions by my friend Peter Colombo. All other pertinent information will be linked in the show notes, and thank you for listening.